And welcome to King James Bible University. I'm Elder Michael Johnson with the Lost Sheep of Israel. Sorry we're 4 minutes late, but we was taking care of a couple of things in the back, trying to take care of some business. However, we actually going to be going through and finishing up in John 3:16. We're actually going to finish that, and we're going to be going through, making sure what is there, and taking care of what we need to do. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at that, and we'll want to make sure that when you look at certain things to where you need to be going through, and I need to make sure that I got a couple of things because I was actually meeting with a few people, and I need to make sure that we have everything correct and ready to go. And we're going to finish up that, and actually we're going to be looking through these things. But now if you do have a chance, if you have the chance, please make sure that you go to the Moab, go to the moab.com. You can actually go over there and you can actually get on the light. It's a Preceptor light to where you can actually go in there. But if you're registered, you can actually go over there and register, and then you can actually put in the precepts for yourself, and then you can save them as you go. So it's a smart thing to do. And if you have a chance, please make sure you do it. Just go over there and take care of it. I'm just trying to make sure we're getting set up and having everything there. And let me get this ready. And what we're going to do, we're going to make sure all these things are happening. So what I want to do, we're going to make sure that you guys are set up, make sure that you guys are taken care of, make sure that everything that we need to do is there. Because the last week we had taken off and we had finished up and we was doing the part of John 3:16, and we already knew a lot of people were going to be upset because when you're dealing with absolutes, people have a problem with absolutes. Why? Because when you do absolutes and you're doing absolutes in the Bible, people have an issue because there's no way they can get around those. Why? Because absolutes tells you everything you need to know. And it's nothing to where they can sit there and talk about, well, the Bible's saying this or the Bible's saying that. No, those are direct precepts, and it's showing you exactly what is being said. So this is why most people do not like even using precepts. But then we deal with them in the absolute manner, which is telling you everything you need to be doing. So if you guys, I'm trying to give you some time to where you can get your precepts ready to where we're going to go through this, and we're going to be looking through there and be going through and getting all the precepts on there, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start looking at that and see what was happening. We're going to start looking at this and see what is happening. Now, I'm sharing my screen. We're going to look at this. So John 3:16, what we were doing last week, we was doing the who, and we went through that. And we did who, and we constantly did a lot of those. So as we did those, but let's look at what happened. It says, who is God, Yahweh? And we put on here on who he is. You see that? That's what we did. And it went down through, and we pulled all the precepts on this, and we went through, and I know some people, as you're going through your preceptor, you sitting there saying, wow, why he's not doing who, what, why, what, and where. Because this is technically the way I normally precept. Why? Because I like to pour so much information into where I have, the same as your mom tell you, you have more than enough. You have more than enough. Why? Because as you have more, now when you get ready to go teach someone, you can actually pick and choose through your precepts and see what direction you need to go. Because based on the way he's leading you, now you have all the scriptures you need to teach whatever you need to teach in that fashion. Are you following me? So what we're doing here, we did who God loved, Jacob. We know that. Then we got who, Yahushai, seeking Israel. So we want to see that. We want to say, but who, Yahushai, is seeking Israel. You can do it many different ways. They got who is lost, Israel. We got all absolutes, all precepts here telling you all what's going on. And then here I put the notes that I have. Why? Because now we're going to look at some of the notes. Why? We need to see what the notes are. I'm gonna try to make it a little larger to where you can actually see exactly what I was doing there. And if I can do that, let me see. No, I figured that wasn't fine. But I want to bring it a little bit closer. Zoom. So let me see zoom. Well, it didn't zoom. Oh, there we go. We zooming in. And I want you to see this. Why? I want you to see what's going on here. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at it. It says, because we basing it on John 3:16. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believed in him, actually, dang it. Now I got to go back. Now I have to go back. I need to zoom out. Let me just do fit the window. Do that. And so it's whoever believes on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So what we did is what? We were doing some facts. We were doing facts, meaning what? We did a fact. God so loved the world. We got a question mark there. Who did God love the world? So who is he considering the world? And that's what we was doing up here in the preceptor. This is the key and why it's good to use a preceptor to prove your points. It's very important to do that. It's very important to do that. I'm trying to get rid of the zoom tool. Actually, that's why. Actually, I'm trying to get rid of the zoom tool here, and I want to go back to the hand tool. Let me see, did it get rid of it? No, it still didn't get rid of it. 1 second, I'm trying to get rid of that zoom tool. And let me see here. And I want to, let me just do, I don't want to really do that one. Zoom 2, no, don't want that one. And I want hand 2, that's the one I want. I need to put this back out. Now we back shaking again. Okay, so what is going on here? We looking at, for God so loved the world. We know, for he loved so loved the world. So we was trying to figure out if he so loved the world, and we know in John 17:9 it's saying that he don't pray for the world. Who? Yahushua, because we see it right here. John 17 verse 9. So the Bible don't contradict. So if it don't contradict, he loves somebody. He loves somebody. It means so he loves something. It's something that he loves. So we see here another fact. What? Jacob made a vow, and God commands you to pay your vows to him. So Jacob made a vow to the Most High. And the Most High saying, if you're going to make a vow to me, you're going to pay your vow. How do we know that? Because he says it in Psalms 50 and 14. And we know Jacob made a vow to him way back in Genesis chapter 28, 20 and 21. These are facts. How do we know it's a fact? Because it's right there in the book. You can't miss it. So it's not, we're not doing something and we guessing. These are facts that is literally given. In fact, God changed Jacob's name. Did he not? Yeah, we do know how. You can sit there and tell him, go right over there to Genesis 32, verse 27, 28. We know that happened. How? Because it's a fact. But he's still not changing. He didn't change everybody named Israel. But we see something else. Another fact. God is a spirit and must be worshipped in spirit and in truth. That's a fact. Why? Because John 4:23 and 24 tells you that. And we have these, and everything is up here. But I'm just putting in the facts because later what I do, I'm gonna write a synopsis on what all going on and I'm gonna tie all that in. And don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to do that too. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to do that to where you can go through and you can be so pinpointed on the Bible. And people say, man, you're so dogmatic. Because I'm gonna tell you what, the Bible, for you to teach the Bible and understand it, you shouldn't have to go through and try to lean on somebody saying, well, you should look at it this way. No, these are facts. Another fact, only Jacob was given the Most High God laws. How you going to compete and say that's not true? How you going to compete and say that's not true? I know it's a fact. How I know it's a fact? Because in Psalms 147, 19 and 20, it tells you that. They say, that's coming off too bold. Okay, the Bible is bold. The Bible don't change or erase itself. These are facts. So if we're going to deal with facts, we got to deal with the facts. The Most High God only known Israel. People say, well, spiritual. No, it don't say spiritual. It says only known Israel. How is that? And out of all the families of the earth, how? It's a fact. Amos 3:2. Amos 3:2 tells you this. And we can continually go down, and then we even got who Yahushua was praying for. Facts. Yahushua was not praying for the world. How? Because in 17:9, he said, I pray not for the world. That's a fact. That's a fact. So if these are facts, we have to understand when we go out and you want to learn precepts according to scripture, when we go out, it's best to where you have a preceptor to where you can do these things, to where you can go out and now you can glean from your own precepts and never have to go outside the Bible. Because soon as you go outside the Bible and you're speaking with someone and they want to sit there and reason with you based on theology, you can do all facts. You can do all precepts. But as soon as you go outside the Bible, they got you. Soon as you go to a commentary, they got you. Soon as you go to a Septuagint, they got you. Soon as you go to anything, a Strong's Concordance, a dictionary, they got you. They won. Why? Because now they can introduce the world of all books. As most people sit there and say, man, that sound like Tupac, Me Against the World. Yeah, it's that one book against the world. That one book. You can go in these bookstores, in those old crazy Christian bookstores. You can go in there and they have bookstores just with vast amounts of books everywhere based on one book. So if you want to learn precepts, it's best for you to learn precepts, because once you learn precepts, it's the same as you do a $100 bill. Why would you go if you work at a bank, if you work at a store, you work anywhere, you're going to try to learn what a fake $100 bill look like? It makes no sense. You're looking for, let me see what this $100 bill, let me see, well, this one looks like this. Well, these come from this region and the $100 bill can look like this, but it's fake, but sometimes they change them over next. When all you have to do is study a real $100 bill, the one bill. And then guess what? Whenever you see a fake $100 bill come and you know it don't look like that, you know it's a fake $100 bill. Why you don't do that with the Bible? Why you don't do it with the Bible? If you sit there and you study only the Bible and precept the Bible, whenever false doctrine come up to you, you'll know it. It's automatic. It's automatic. So let's look at this, because I already pre-made one, which I kind of was ahead of you guys. But what you do, you can make another one. We have another clear one. Because, and then after that, we're going to actually end up blending them all in, and you're going to see how we do it. But I want you to work with me and do it together with me to where you can do this and always say the same thing. What? That you have to study to show yourself by yourself approved of these studies, and making you sure you're doing your due diligence to know what the Most High God is saying. I'm a man. I can get up on a stage and talk to people, and at the end of the day, I'm a man. And a man can sit there and tell you something, and you're going to sit there and challenge. But one thing you cannot challenge, and that is the book, because the book is unforgiving and it do not change. Those are your keys. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into the one part where I know a lot of people find very controversial. But for us to find out that God so loved the world, we still on John 3:16. So what you want to do, you want to make another one. And I got John 3:16, and then you can put the what or whatever you can put there. We got the who, but now we're going to do the what. We got the who, but now let's do the what. So now we got to do what? So in your precept, I want you to put what? What? And why people sit there saying, man, what's going to go on? Because a lot of people are going to get upset on what we get ready to go into, because when we have to take off our regular mind and we have to put on these investigative hats and we have to dig into the Bible. We have to dig into the Bible. We get ready to find out some things that a lot of people is not going to probably like. What? Hear about what? What do they look like? What? I told you this is going to be a problem. I told you this is going to be a problem. So we're gonna put some things here, and let's go ahead. Let's set up. We're gonna get our things set up, and we're gonna put some things here. So let's get this here, and let's check out this what. And what we want to do here, I'm gonna right click. And what I do, I can do it a couple of ways, but I normally do it in this way, open all pop-ups. But then what I do, these are the other ones that I have open that's on the side for the keys, but I'm gonna close those. For now, I can click out and it stays there. You see that? You see what I'm doing? So I want you to do that. I want everybody to do that. And if you're doing the Preceptor online and you're over at the Moab, you actually already, your notes is already there. Your notes is already there. So you can type right in there inside the notes. So it's the same thing as I'm gonna see if I can go over there real quick and I can show it to you, because some of us probably don't know right where to go. So I'm gonna do it real quick, and if I need to run over, I will. But we need to go in, and I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna log in, and we're gonna look at some of it. And I just want to show you what's happening, because I need you to go over to it and I need you to look at it, because once we get started, and then if you register, please register. Why? Because if you register, you can actually do it and you can actually save it. And then if you don't get it finished, you can save it, then you come back next week and you're good. And you're good to go. So what we want to do, we just want to make sure that everybody is good, but we want to make sure participation is everything. Participation is everything. Why? Because if you participate, it helps you understand what the Bible is all about. It's helping you to understand what the Bible is all about. So what we're going to do, I'm going to move this over here temporarily, because I just want to show you what we're dealing with. And then where I want you to go. Where I want you to go. So this is the Moab. I'm already logged in. When you log in, you will see it'll say take notes up here, which you can click on that and you can see where you can take notes. But this ain't where we're going. What I want you to do, you're going to close this up. But I want you to go to the Book of Remembrance. You're going to go to the Book of Remembrance over at the Moab, and it's mow-ed.com. Go to the Book of Remembrance, click on Study Bibles. I want you to click on that. And I clicked on it, and it's going to take me over to the other area. And now we're going to get to this part. I want to get it up past that part. And this is a Precept Mastery Note Light. Now you see, since I'm logged in, where you can see the take notes here, since I'm logged in, you can submit and you can save. But if you're not fully finished, you can save that button. You can save it, so when you log back in, it'll pick back up where you left. All right? It'll pick back up where you left off at. Now, currently, this here, and then we also running dual Bibles here, to where you can run dual Bibles at the same time. So these things are available to you, but now also, why this thing during the week, if you click on a commercial, the commercial help keep this down to where people who cannot afford to get the Preceptor as a whole, the one that they can work offline, it helped keep it to where it is to stay free to them. And that's what we want to do. So if you do, once you come in here, during the week, 30 seconds, 1 minute, you look at that at the beginning or near the end, and you're done. You're done. Because it won't start unless you click on it. So you have to click on it. But you can actually put the title right in here. Just put in John 3:16. And you can write whatever you want to write. Put the verse in there. And the same thing. You got the who, what, where. Everything is in there. And the same thing. You got the books in here also. But then over here, you got the notes and everything here also. So you got 3 sections of notes which you can put into. And then you also had a book to do the studies. But then you might end up doing your own personal study. So if you're doing your own personal study, you need to, you can do the same thing. You can do the study up there. And once you finish, you can submit it or save it. And then you can print it out and do what you want to do. And then you start a whole nother study. So that's the beautiful thing about this. So this is over there, and you can actually do the study right there with it and go right to this. But then if you go over there and you log out, so I'm gonna show you what happened if you log out. So if you're not logged in, I'm gonna show you where your problem is gonna be. So right now it's asking me to log out, and I'm going to log out. So it's logging me out. Now I'm gonna go back to the site. I'm going to go back to it and watch what happens. So now I'm going to go back to the book of remembrance. I'm going right back here, and this is the problem. You see that? There's no save button, just submit. So if you do that and you put in all that work, that's what's going to happen. You did a whole lot of stuff, and technically you can lose it all. So you want to register, log in to where you have that save button. So now let's go in here and we're going to put in some work. So now I'm going to change some things. Now I'm going to put this in here. And now right here, what I want to do, I want to put a couple of things. I'm changing it from Michael Johnson. And what I'm going to put in there is notes. Or I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to put a / facts. Notes, facts. You see how that changed? It changed it right up there. Now you can also change this. You can change the colors. You can do many things. But we want to know, what do they look like? What do they look like? What do they look like? So what we have to do, we need to separate many different ones. We have to separate 3 different ones. So if we're going to do that, we need to separate each one. Meaning what? So we want to know what. We take that out. Take that out, because we're going to separate them. We're going to take it out, and we're going to separate them. All right? We're going to look at these, and we're going to get some understanding here. We're going to look at them, and we need to get some clear understanding here. And what one are we going to put there? Because we know he had 3 sons. He had 3 sons. How do we know? Let's go and first, let's look at Genesis chapter 4 in verse 1 and 2. This is what we're going to look at. And let's put a note right here. 4, 1 and 2. We're going to look at this, put Genesis 1 and 2. And what we're going to put there, we want to know what we're going to say. We're going to say one thing here. We're going to say 3 sons. Who? Adam. Adam had 3. Put that there. Because we're going to need that later. So we want to put that there so we can remember that that's there. We want to know what that's saying. We want to remember what that's saying. So what we're going to do is this. What do they look like? We need to find out. Because now we're going to look at Genesis 4, 1 and 2. It says, and Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. So we know Cain is there. And then it said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. So we know she bare Cain. But now most people think that it was over time and then Abel came, but they was twins. See, this is the thing most people don't know. They was twins. How do we know this? Because it says, it don't say he knew his wife again, or he went into his wife again. Because you see at the beginning it says, and Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man. But watch this. And she bare again. So she went into her contractions again, and then she bared Abel. It didn't say he knew her again. Why? Because you can see they even grew up together. But watch this. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So we know this. This is things we know. So what do we need to do? What do we need to do there? What do we need to do with that there? Because it's something important we need to do here. We need those facts, but we don't technically want to put the facts up here on what we got there. So we need to do something. If we precepting this on John 3:16, we want to know what they look like, but that is some prudent information, but we need to know what that is. So what we're going to do is say Adam. And I'm actually, let me, before I bold that, I'm just going to put right here, I'm going to do textile, I'm going to bold it, but then I'm going to do textile again, and I'm going to put an underline. Adam. Adam what? He had 3 sons. Period. But then you want to say two. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to look at this, and he had 3 sons, but now we're going to do fact. This is the fact. We're going to bold that. He had 3 sons. Meaning what? Genesis, he had Cain and Abel. Two sons here. We just do it like that, but we can change it later. So what we do those facts for, we keep up with what's going on. So later on we won't get lost. That's why we do that. Now we know right there this happened, but we can't technically put it up here yet. We can't start inputting here. So we have to kind of get the stuff ready. You know what I'm saying? We got to kind of get all our tools ready. So now we're going to put another fact here, because we're going to look at something. We're going to look at something real close. We're going to put a fact. What? We know in Genesis 4 and 8, let's go there and read it, and then we'll put it in. Because we're going to read it, and then we need to glean from the information there to put it into our facts. All right? So we got to look at it, go back, glean from the information, and then we're going to put it into our facts. Because later it's going to be real important, because what we're going to do, we're going to build our own synopsis. Our own synopsis from this. Watch this. 4 and 8. And it says, and Cain talked to Abel his brother, which is clear. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel and slew his brother. He killed his brother. So we know that. This is clear. How do we know it's clear? Because in 4 and 8 it says it. So right here, we want to just make this a fact, and we're going to say Cain killed his brother. And I know some people might say, well, it says slew, which is the same thing, but I'm going to put slew. Yeah, go ahead. You put slew. You put whatever you feel you need to be there to help you to arrive to what we're going to be doing. Because some people want to put fact in slew, and some people are going to do it kill. So it doesn't matter, because both of them are going to come out the same. So we know he killed his brother. So what we need to do is put a little bit more information. So Adam had 2 sons, and Cain killed one of them. Killed Abel, which made them have one living son. So we know it's a fact because we go there and read it. We saying Cain killed his brother, so Adam had two sons, and Cain killed one, Abel. So we can say Cain killed Abel. We can get rid of that. We can say, and Cain killed Abel, which made them, who? Adam, it made them, well, we say, which them one living son. We'll do it that way. Which left them one living son. Cain. Period. That's clear. How do we know? Because we're going to look at verse 8 again, and it says, and Cain talked to his brother Abel, and it came to pass when they were in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and slew him. So, and it's saying the same thing. So Cain killed his brother, which it tells us that. And now we know Adam had two sons. Yeah, we knew that because in Genesis 4:1-2, it tells us that. And Cain killed Abel. We know that because it tells us that in 4:8, which left them with one living son, Cain. Correct. Now, see up here where it says here? So we need to change that. So Adam had three sons. So we need to, actually we can do it this way, I'm sorry. So how do we prove that? We're going to do another fact. Fact. And then we're going to start seeing some changes. We're going to say, one, we got to go to Genesis 4:25. And let's look at the fact before we write it out. We got to look at it before we write it out. Meaning what? Okay, fact. Genesis 4:25. It says, and Adam knew his wife again. See, right there. He knew his wife again. So it means that they had a sexual encounter, which they had another child. And it says, and she bare a son and called his name Seth. So she called his name Seth. For God said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. So we know that. So now we know this is a fact that Adam and Eve had another son. So we know that because it tells us that. How? Because it tells us that right there in Genesis. And I'm going to put that right here. We're going to look at Genesis. We're going to look at 4:25. This is how we know that Adam and Eve had another son, Seth. The third son. So we know he had three sons. So now we can go up here. We can go 4:1-2 and 25. So now we got that clear. So now we know Adam had three sons. How do we know? Genesis 4:1-2 and 25. And that'll clear it. Down here we got the facts and we got details of what actually happened. So, because up here you're just saying three sons. But now we know that it was three sons, but later on Cain killed one. And then we know after Cain killed one, Adam and Eve had another son, and his name was Seth. These are facts. These are facts. And most people sitting there like, man, this ain't really too much. No, but it gets really serious real quick. Why? Because we know exactly what's going to be going on. We're going to find out exactly what's going on. Why? Because we're going to start looking like for what they look like. How can we prove this? Because we're getting ready to prove a point. We're getting ready to prove a point. Meaning what? Okay, so we know it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact we're going to put another fact here, and then we're going to actually be able to start going inside our preceptor. So let's do another fact. And we have to have our heads on. We're going to go to Luke 3 and 38. Why in the world are we going to Luke? Yeah, we're going to Luke for a reason. Why? Because we're going to see what it says, and we're going to see exactly why. Because it was something that Yahweh said about him. So let's look at this. It says, which the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. See, this was said about in Luke. Not by Yahweh, but it was said in the book of Luke. It was actually said. So we know that Seth was the son of Adam. And we know Enos was the son of Seth, which all was the son of God. So we need to put that in a certain way, because we're going to find out something there. We're going to find out something there. So why is this mentioned over here? It's real important. It's real important. So we know Adam had 3 sons. It's clear. We know that. But this is mentioned in Yahweh's lineage. He was mentioned in the lineage. How do we know this? So what we're going to do, we're going to do something kind of special. We need to know what certain people look like. We need to know what certain people look like. So what we're going to do, what we're going to do right here, we're going to finish this off. Let's just finish this off, and then we're going to go up, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're going to go off, and then we're going to start plugging in. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to say right here, this is the, 1 second. Got to sneeze again. Ooh, excuse me. And it's, yeah. AGE. Dang it. So we want to say the lineage of Yahweh. How we know? And then we can just get really blunt. Besides putting all that stuff down there, we're going to get really blunt. We're going to say the son of Enos because this is going to become very important later. The son of Enos, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, which was the son of God. How do we know? It's a fact. Why? The Bible actually says that. We're going to look at it and make sure. So we got in here, it says the lineage of Yahweh. Why? Because he's mentioned in this lineage. And it says the son of Enos, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, which is the son of God. How we know? Because in 38 it says, which was the son of Enos, which is the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. So somebody, if they try to complain about it, it's really a mute situation, because you're giving them facts on what you're just pulling right out the Bible. The thing we're going to really get them upset is what they're going to find out what is wrong. So we're going to understand another thing. We're going to find out something else. So we're going to find out something which a lot of people are going to find out that they really don't like. Why? Because we know in Genesis, what they look like. Let's go back up here. what they look like. We're going to go Genesis, and we're going to go to 10, and we're going to look at which one? We mainly want to look at on Seth. We want to look at 5, 6 through 9. What they look like. Because why are we pinpointing it this way and we in Genesis? Because we're going to find out about some of the other ones. But why am I doing it that way? The reason we're doing it that way is because in this lineage here, it's talking about Seth. Are you following me? It's pinpointing Seth. But we're going to look at Genesis 10. Oh, wait a minute. I got too much up there. I'm glad I looked up there. I got a little bit too much up there. Genesis, we want 5. Oh, that's why. We want Genesis 5, 6 through 29. That's what's going on. Genesis 5, 6 through 29. Genesis 5, 6 through 29. How do we look at this? Because it tells you, and Seth lived 105 years and begot Enos. And Seth lived after he begot Enos 800 years and 7 years. He begot sons and daughters. It's going to tell you this as it goes all the way down. As it continually go down, it's going to run through there. It's going to tell you the name of all these children. All these children that went through that you can actually name who they are. Meaning what? We're going to find out a lot of things that was going on there. And the same thing is, we're going from 6 to 29. Some of the key things you're going to find out is this. It says in verse 20, it says, in all the days of Jared was 960 and 2 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years, and begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God. Enoch walked with God. With God after he begot Methuselah. 365 years. After he did that. Meaning what? You have a lot of people tell you about a lot of different things about Enoch, and they tell you about that false book that is out there. And in Enoch, they want to talk about how close he was and all this thing, which is all true. It tells you right there in the Bible. However, yes, a however to it. Enoch, if you read down, it said Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years, and begot sons and daughters. It says all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Why? Enoch walked with God and he was not, but God took him. Why? He took him for a reason. He took him for a reason. And it said Methuselah after he begot Lamech, 75 years, 82 in 2 years, and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah was 969 years, and he died. Are you following me? So we have these to where we're going down through all the way down to 29, because 29 tells us a key. We need that. It says, and he called his name Noah, saying, the same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahweh have cursed. You see that? What do they look like? What do they look like? We got to pick this up at another part. we got to pick this up at another part. And we can't put it up there because it's going to come out kind of funny. So we need to put it in our notes. We got to put it in our notes, and then we might reference it up there and we might not. But until we can validate some things there, we cannot put it there. Are you with me? Meaning what? Because we want to make sure what do they look like, not what do everybody else look like. Because that'll give you a convoluted understanding. And we don't want to get anybody caught up on anything that's outside of Scripture. So how are we going to do this? So we're going to put in here, we're going to put a fact in here. Why? We're going to put a fact, and what we're going to do, we want to look at when they started having some different things that went on. How do we know? We're going to find out some things about Noah. We're going to look at Genesis. We're going to look at 5 and 32. Let's look at 5 and 32 and let's see what it says. It says, and Noah was 500 years old. And Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. He begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So Noah, same as Adam, he got 3 sons. Most people didn't even really think about it. You would have thought about it, but we're just looking at it. So Noah had 3 sons. So we're going to look at it right here where Noah was 500 years old, but we want to just say Noah had sons. And who? He had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. He had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. How do we know? It's a fact. It's a fact. And with this fact, we're going to find out something. See, this is where the party gonna kick in. The reason you don't put it up there, don't put it up there because it'll be too open, where people can sit there. Well, see, well, we got all 3 of them. No, because he's gonna hone in on these. He's gonna hone in on these. Why do I say that? Because we're gonna look at something. You got Genesis. We got Genesis 4, 9, and 10. Genesis 4, 9, and 10. Meaning what? And he said to Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother crieth unto me from the ground. Why would we use something like that? We want to go there, we're going to get some pieces of information. Am they their brother's keeper? That's the point. And are these 3 their brother's keeper? That is the point. That is the point. So we need to make another note. And I'm going to tell you, some people say, man, this shows a lot of work, but I'm going to tell you, once you understand the Bible, it's nothing like it. It is nothing like it. What? It's nothing like knowing what Scripture says. So we're going to pull the fact, but we're going to pull facts on certain ones. We're going to pull the facts on certain ones, and we have to do it that way because we want to know what's going on. So what we're going to do here, we're going to look at, it's 3 brothers. So we need to look at some facts. Now, I don't know why my thing popped way over there. It popped over on the other side, you guys. I don't know why it did that. But let's go over here, right click, and we're going to look at something real important. Something real important. We might make it even shorter. So we're going to put in the sons of, yes, you got it. You got it. The sons of Japheth. We have to do that. And make sure you save it. I just hit the save button, but make sure you guys save it. Make sure you save this here. So what we got to do is we got to do a fact. We're going to do a fact, and we're going to put in something. We're going to go to Genesis, and we're going to put in 10, 1 through 5. 10, 1 through 5. And we're going to have to put something there, so we need to hold this here, but we're going to put a fact there. Because we know over here, for God so loved the world, gave his only begotten Son, whoever believes in him should not perish, but should have everlasting life. And these are Israelite children. And these are all whose, but now we over here, we on what? So we need to find out what they are. So we're looking at Genesis 10:5, 10:1 through 5. And let's look at, and we're going to find out what happened. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Ham, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them sons were born after them. The sons of Japheth. The sons of Japheth. Gomer, Magog. You see that? Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach. You see those? Riphath. You see that? You see that? Actually, I went down a little bit too far. But it's Meshach and Tyrus. But that's verse 3. Then it says the sons of Gomer. It went straight to the sons of Gomer. That's his first son. Ashkenaz, Riphath, Togarmah. The sons of Japhan, Elisha. You see those? Tarshish, Kittim, and Dudium. You see these? But that's not the name so much of what we need, or what each one of these is. Not so much the name. But it says something that is a key. Because verse 5 clears it. It says, by these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, everyone after his tongue, after their families, in their nations. So what is that saying? So each one of these children that came through Japheth were Gentiles. And for the Most High, don't change. So if there were Gentiles then, there was Gentiles all the way through the book. It don't change. Now we can act like them, but it'll state that. But a Gentile is a Gentile. It don't change. A leopard don't change the spots. If you start changing, it's going to start confusing you. Why? Because you're going to sit there, well, they this here, but then over here, no, they don't. No, it's the same. It don't change. As Paul says in 1 Corinthians 12, 1 and 2. No, 12, 2. For ye were Gentiles. Gentiles can't be were Gentiles. Worshipping dumb idols as you were led. Gentiles always worship dumb idols. But ye were, so you can be acting like that. But these was Gentiles. Meaning what? We have to put this key in here. So the sons of Japheth are called the isles of the Gentiles. Or called the isles of the Gentiles. Living among themselves. The isles of the Gentiles. The isles of the Gentiles. See, because the children of Japhet, see, because in verse 3, it tells you the sons of Gomer, Ashkenazi, Rephath, and Togarmah. So we're going to look at even a picture of that to try to get a better understanding on what that is, to where we can have that, and we're going to use this, and we're going to put a right here, and we want to understand what that says. So we're going to put precept. Put a precept there. We're going to put 1 Chronicles 1:6. 1:6. Why? I want to bold this. Uh-oh. I don't know why I keep doing it. I don't know why I keep closing it. Okay, so 1:6, what do it say? The sons of Gomer. The sons of Gomer. Who was the sons of Gomer? Japhet. Ashkenaz. Rephath. Togarmah. Watch this. The sons of Javan. Elisha. Tarshish. Kittim. Dudamah. We are in Chronicles. But we need to know exactly what is going on. We need to know what's going on right here. So 1:6 is clear. The sons of Gomer. The sons of Gomer. Are they Gentiles? Yeah, they're Gentiles. They're Gentiles, and we have another place where you would find them again. You can go over to Ezekiel 38, verse 2 through 6. 38, verse 2 through 6. And look at this, because we have to pinpoint who we are, or who we say we are. See, it says, the Son of Man set a face against Gog and Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal prophesied against him, and say, thus said Yahweh God, because I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. I will return thee back and put hooks in thy jaw and bring thee out forth, all thy army, horses, horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company, and bucklers and shield, all them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, and all of them with the shield and the helmet. Gomer, and all the bands in the house of Togarmah, in the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared. This is telling you what's going on. So we have to understand what this they actually going into. So we know that these are completely different. Why? Because if you look at Jeremiah 51, you might want to put it in your notes. I wasn't going to actually put it there, but you can actually put it in your notes. In Jeremiah 51:27, it says, set ye up standards in the land. Blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Called against her the kingdoms. Ararat, Midai, Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her. As a kingdom called the opposed of Babylon. They were since scattered, eaten in Jerusalem. God set bounds and divided the children of Israel against that. And we can see this in Genesis 10. We're going to see why he separated some of this stuff. So we still trying to see what they look like. We still trying to see what they look like. So let's look at something. What do they look like? Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. It says, when the Most High divided the nations in their inheritance, when they were separated, the sons of Adam, he set bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. What do they look like? We need to look like that. We need to put that there because we know this is a problem. Because they're saying the sons of Adam. Actually, I don't know why this. Let me make sure this is good. Okay. So, the sons of Adam. Fact. We're going to look at Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8. 32 and verse 8. And it said, when the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, and was separated, and he separated the sons of Adam, and set bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. According to the number of the children of Israel. According to the number of the children of Israel. Meaning what? So he divided the nations. So we need to put that there. So he divided the nations, and this is the part people do not like. Separated the sons of Adam. He separated the sons of Adam. Why? Made a distinction between some people. The sons of Adam, and actually we're going to do it a little bit more. According to the number of Israel. That's what we're going to do. According to the number of Israel. Why are we doing it that way? Because we want to make sure once we start plugging this in, and what we're doing, we're going to lock down tight. It can't be no mistakes nowhere. So he set bounds. So we know this. He separated. And actually, if you want to, you might want to put that bold. And you might want to underline that. Why? We just want to make sure nations have separated the sons of Adam. Making sure we are set. Making sure we are set. Meaning what? He separated us. How do we know he separated them? By the nations. By the nations. Fact. We pull in facts. We have to pull the facts because we have to put in the work. Because it makes no sense, and it's too important, way too important to where when you're sitting there talking about the Most High has chosen a people to where anyone should say, I know I'm it. How? Prove it. Oh, right here. See right here? Deuteronomy 28:68. It's a good verse. It's a good verse. Is there something else? We're going to march through here and we're going to mark this out because you have precepts over here. But we just getting started with the who, we over at the what. And we ain't even got started good, but we have a lot of good facts to keep us pinpointed on what we're going to be doing. So right now we got a fact. He set bounds. So let's go to Genesis 10. Let's go to Genesis 10, and we're going to have to separate Genesis 10 because we've got to do it a certain way. We got Japhet, because Japhet is 10:1 to 10:5. We got that. So we can stop at 10:5. We can stop at 10:5. But let's look at verse 6. Watch what happens. We doing facts, and this is going to be so important. We're going to look at 6. And we're going to leave this because we got to see how far down we have to go before it changes. Because we're trying to get the facts, and then we're going to explain who these are. These are Gentiles. And let me copy this. I mean, not copy. Let me bold this out. Gentiles. All of the Gentiles. Let me see. Let me do it all this way. All of the Gentiles. That's what they are. From 10:1 to 10:5, clearly the Bible says these are Gentiles. And then he gives you the characteristics. He describes them to you on what they are. So let's look at that. From 10:6, we got to see something because they're going to say something important. You're going to say something important. And actually, we need to dress this up. We got to dress this up for a little bit. Japhet children are called the Isles of the Gentiles, or sometimes they just call the Gentiles. That's what we got to put there. So we're going to put the sons of Ham. We need to put this there, and we got to make it distinct. Why? Because we have to prove all things. We have to prove this. So let's look at 6, and these are the sons of Ham. It says Ham, Cush, Mizraim. Put Canaan, the sons of Cush, Sheba, Havilah, and Sabbath, and Ramoth. Are you seeing this? And Sabtesha, the sons of Ramoth, Sheba. Sheba. That's where Sheba came from. And Dedan. You learn much when we finding out who these people are. And then in Cush begot, so you see how he's going, in Cush begot Nimrod. He became a mighty hunter, one in the earth. Meaning what? The Most High took notice to this one. The Most High took notice to this one. And he made a mighty hunter before Yahweh. Wherefore, he said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of this kingdom was Babel. That was the beginning of confusion. The kingdom of confusion. The kingdom of confusion. And we down at 10 right now. So we have to keep it there. So let's do this, and we're going to stop. Actually, we're going to do that. We're going to stop right at 10. And we're going to put a comma here. Because it's going to stop, and I'm going to show you why. Because it's going to stop, but it's going to pick back up. Because something happened, and then it stops. So as they was giving you the information on Canaan and giving you the information on Ham, at verse 11, something happened. Why? Full stop was in verse 10 in Shinear. But in verse 11, we see out of the land went forth Asher. Something happened. Something happened. Asher is not the son of Ham. Why? It would have even told you that. It says out of the land went forth Asher and built Nineveh and Rehoboth and Caleb. Why? Because now when I don't know why I can't even think of his name right now. When Jonah went to Nineveh, now we know who was there and why he only dealt with Israel. Why? Because Asher children was there. Asher children was there. But watch this. In raising between Nineveh and Keilah, so now between these, that same great city, Mizraim begot Ludum. You see these? Are you seeing all these? Are you seeing? I'm talking about these are children, but we have to stop and we have to pick this back up. Let me move this over. Let me move this back over. And we have to pick it back up at verse 12 and put a comma there. Because it goes to Mizraim. I'm talking about it goes through all the children of the first children. Canaan, the Hivites. You start seeing all these nations start coming up. And then it tells you. And these are the sons in verse 20. So we're going to go all the way. You look how large these are. And it says this. And these are the sons, these sons of Ham are the families after their tongues in their countries, in their nations. In their nations. Now these are going to be later. Let me do it. Are called strangers. Are called strangers. They're called strangers because we're strangers in their land. They're called strangers all through the Bible. We have Gentiles, we have strangers, we have Israelites. All through the Bible. Don't change. This is why so many people are getting mixed up, because they want to change Gentiles when people were acting like Gentiles, and that's why they removed the Apocryphas and different things to keep you more confused. To keep you more confused. So, what do we have here? We have Ham's children right there. You call strangers. Now, this is a fact. This is a fact. But now we want to see who the sons of Shem. We have to pinpoint these, and these are. We're going to look at 10 and 21. When you separate it this way, we start getting rid of a lot of craziness because we pinpoint things and we being very direct. We've been extremely direct. Meaning what? We're going to look at something. Starting at verse 21. It says, unto Shem, the father of all the children of Eber. The father of all the children of Eber. Wow. The brother of Japhet, the elder, even to him were children born. And what were these children named? The children of Shem, verse 22. Elam, Asher. Asher, remember that? Asher. Go back up to verse 11. Out of the land went forth. Asher went out the land. He got big-headed. Like the prodigal son. He got big-headed. He left. He's going to roll differently. He's going to roll differently. So Asher and Araphat and Lud and Aram and the children of Aram, Uz and Hud and Gither and Mash. Araphat begot Selah. Selah begot Eber. Eber were born two sons. The name of one son was Peleg. In the nowadays was the earth divided, and the son's name was Joktan. Now Joktan begot Amadad. Are you seeing how this just running through and going through? But now you also see, when you look at verse 28, you still see one over here still named Sheba, as well as you see up at the top, who else named the child Sheba? Because there was another one named him Sheba. Look at verse 7, to Cush. Sheba, but then you see they named one Sheba. One of theirs was named Sheba. Who? Yeah, one of the strangers called him Sheba. And we have to look at these and understand what is happening. Then it says in verse 31 is the key verse that we want. 31. And it says, and these are the sons of Shem in their families after their tongues, in their lands after their nations. These are called the sons of Shem. But let me see. After their nations. After their nations. Are you following me? So we need to make sure that we have these down to go through with what's needed, because they was divided. And we divide them. So we have three sections. We have three sections of people. We have three sections of people. Even when you look at Genesis 2 and 8, it says, and the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and put the man there whom he had formed. So we have to find out what was going on here. What was going on here? So I'm going to give you some work. Because we're going to go through this together. And then all the ones that is online, and you're online and you're using the Preceptor online, and the one using offline, make sure you save it to where we're going to do the other work. But if you're online, what I need you to do, save it. But we're going to look at some scriptures. And I want to see where we're going to put it. Make sure that you're putting it in the right way. I want to make sure you're putting it in the right way. And I'm going to give you some scriptures. And I want you to find out, do these go inside the preceptor, or are you going to put them in your notes? Are you going to put them in your preceptor, or are you going to put them down in the bottom of your notes? So we have to find out and make sure that you're putting them in the right place. So the first one, let's go to Sirach. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. Sirach, we're going to go to chapter 33 and verse 10. 33 and verse 10. It says, and all men are formed from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. What did that just say? Do that need to be split up? For all men are formed from the ground. And Adam was created of the earth. Do that need to be separate, or is that showing a continual? Because this actually shows you what you need to be doing. But we're going to look at verse 11. It says, as much knowledge as the Lord had divided them, he made their ways diverse. So he made their ways diverse. What? The men from the ground and the men that was made of the earth. They're different. They are different. But I want you to make sure you're writing this verse down. It's Sirach 33 verse 10. And I need for you to see where you're going to put it. Because when we pick this up next week, I need to make sure that you're putting it in the right place. Let's look at verse 12. And it says, and some of them had he blessed and exalted. Some were blessed and exalted, and some have he sanctified. So he separated them. He separated them and set near himself. But some of them he had cursed and brought low, and turned out their way, their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand, the fashion, it is a pleasure. So the man is in the land of him that made him, to render them as he like him best. God is set against evil and life against death. So it is godly against the sinner, for the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and are 2 and 3 are against another. We need to know where that go. We need to know where that go for the separation. We're going to go know where that go for separation. We got another one we got to still use. So I'm not going to show you where to put it, but we're going to start working it together. So don't worry about if you're putting it in the wrong place, because we can correct it. But we need to start turning up those motor and those mind skills to start warming them up to where we can start getting those precepts and start understanding what the Bible is saying. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 11. It says, and God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and fruit, trees yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. Wow. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. What is that saying? What is that saying? Now, I'm going to tell you a trick for a few of you guys, because actually it's going to help you out. I know some people is going through, go through the volume of the book with me. And you can go right back there and you can actually find out what that is automatically. You can go back right now and literally put that thing to work. Because we need to know where that goes. So we need to know where that verse goes, but look what that verse saying. So should it go up here? Should that verse go here? Genesis 1, 11 and 12? Or should it go down in the facts somewhere? because we have to remember, we have to determine where it goes, because we defining Gentiles, strangers in Israel, because they call something. So we got, but this is the sons of Shem. So if we're going to do John 3:16 correctly, we got to separate these three groups. I know many people seeing it, they sitting there like, man, we got some work. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to walk through this together. We got all this here, and we're going to actually end up putting another one up. But once we get that last one, we put them all together, I'm going to tell you right now, all people will be able to tell you, wow, man, you heavy. They ain't talking about me, they going to be telling you that. Dude, you heavy. Sister, you heavy. Why? Because you never going to walk out the Bible and you're going to prove everything you're trying to say to them. You're going to prove it right there in the scriptures. Prove it right in the scriptures itself. So as I do the same thing I do with the class, I'm going to give you another verse too. Because we have to get this right. We have to get this right, but I'm not going to be as tough as you on the school as I do in some of the class, but I am going to give you some verses. And they probably sitting there, I can't believe you giving them verses out there in the front and you won't give us nothing. They'll be okay. They'll be all right. But I know I'm going to hear it. I guarantee I'm going to hear it. So I'm going to give you another verse to help you, but I want you to put the placement, you put in the work. Put the work in and see where you need to place it. Do it need to go on top, or do it need to go into your facts? Because the facts later, this is going to be your driver. This is going to drive your precepts up here. We have to do it that way for the what? This is going to drive your car. This right here is going to drive your car. Because you're going to be able to separate and get rid of all the non-use of the scriptures that you don't want, to where you can pinpoint who is the world. You're going to be able to pinpoint it without a doubt. So we have to take our time. See, John 3:16, most people, I didn't know it was that serious. Yeah, John 16 is a very serious verse, but we have to be very serious and very studious and do the work. So I'm going to give you another verse. And I'm going to tell you what, before I hear it, because I know I will, I'm going to put the verse, actually let me put the verses in this one. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to put the verses in there because I know a lot of people want to see the verses. So I'm going to do it this way. To what we're going to do. We're going to do Sirach. We're going to do 33 and 10 through 15. So while we're doing that, I want you, do this go over in the facts with sons of Japhet? Do it go in the notes and facts, or do it go up in here somewhere? I want you to take the time and do it. This is homework for you. This is where we're going to dig into this Bible. And let's put in the work together. Let's look at another one. And the ones who just got these preceptors, let's do it. You didn't get the preceptor just to make it look pretty on your desk. We getting ready to put it to work. See, I know a lot of you guys sitting there, well, man, I thought I was just going to be lounging. No, we getting ready to put in some work. We getting ready to learn this Bible. So all playtime is over. So let's go to another. We're going to look at Genesis. And we got to look at that. And we're going to go to 1, 11, 12. Where do this go? Where do that go? Do it go in the sons of Japhet? Do it goes in the notes and facts? Or do it go up here in the preceptor somewhere? I already know my class is burning up. I guarantee they burning up. I can't believe he giving them verses. I can't believe he doing that. Have me racking my brain. Yeah, I love you anyway. We can't just doctrinate them in and do them that way. We have to lure them in and get them used to doing the work, and then we'll lay the hammer down on them. But I'm gonna give you a couple. I'm gonna give you a couple, and we got Psalms 92, 6 and 7. Psalms 92, 6 and 7. What do it say? It says, a brutish man knoweth not, neither do a foolish understand. When the wicked spring as comparison the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they. Why I'm stopping there? Because I'm helping you quite a bit, but I want you to do the work and write it down. And if you don't write down, you forgive me. Go over there to the Moab and put this in the Preceptor. Put it right in there. If you get a register, you get an account, you can do it for free. And then just hit save, and then you can do your work during the week, and then see how you got it. And then see how you actually done. Because we're going to pick this up next week. But we're going to go through. But what do it do? See, I got to finish reading it out because it's 6 and 7. It says, when the wicked spring up, as comparison, as grass, when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they. Who is they? Who is they? Shall be destroyed forever. What is this talking about? What is this talking about? You have 3. I'm gonna give you one more. I'm gonna give you one more. I know they're hot now. I know they're hot now, but that's okay. That is okay. We're gonna go to Isaiah. We're gonna go to 40 and verse 7. 40 and verse 7. I'm not gonna do anymore because I already know they'll sit there. I cannot believe he's doing this. They'll be all kind of upset with me. So we're gonna look at this and we're gonna understand what that's saying. It says, the grass withers, the flower faded, because the spirit of Yahweh bloweth upon it. Surely people is grass. So we have to find out, where do this go? We have to find out where this goes. It's important. It's important. It is extremely important. So we need to make sure we know from now on what we are going to be doing. We got to make sure what we're going to be doing, because it's important to what we're going to be running. It's important on how we're going to be running this. So we have to figure out where do these go. And as I keep saying, don't worry about where you're putting this. You want to do your due diligence. That's what you want to do. Do your due diligence and put in the work. Do your due diligence and put in the work. Once you put in the work, and then once you prepared, you can sit there and you can literally go in and just do it. And the more you do, the better you get. The more you understand, the better you get. That's the beautiful part about learning precepts. The more you understand, the better you will get at this. And that's the most important thing than anything. And that's why we want you to do so much with this, to where you understand exactly what's happening. Exactly what's happening. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue and we're going to go through it. And we're going to look at it. We're going to sit there and see it. I want to make sure that each and every one of you guys sit there and understand exactly what we need to be doing. And once we come back to this, I want to make sure that each and every one of you guys, you clearly understand exactly what you did. But you need to make sure that you have saved that file. Make sure you save the file if you're over there on the other side. If you went over there, and later on, I'm gonna be over there with you, just doing it right along with you. But make sure you save the file. Make sure you save it so you can come back to it. But during the week, your mind should always be right on that Bible, trying to figure out exactly what you're doing. Exactly what you're doing. Meaning what? You're gonna go through here. You're gonna make sure everything that you're doing in here, you're gonna put it over. And once you put it over, I promise you this. You're gonna sit there and I tell the same thing I tell my class. You do precepts. You do the precepts because we never run out the Bible. We never go outside the Bible. You're gonna learn the Bible in its entirety. You give me 6 months, and you'll be a new person. I guarantee you that. Because when you understand the Bible the way you need to know it, and see, and the biggest crutch is that dang commentary that's out there. That commentary and all that just junk. They sitting there, they giving you a man theology on what they think is this Bible saying. But now you'll be able to find out. Because we're going to find out everything through here. So we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna let you do some of those homework. That's the homework for this week. I'm talking about, but you need to make sure you place it. I can't see it now. If you save it and then you didn't accidentally submit it, I can actually see it because you're gonna submit it directly to me. But if you just saving it, I can't see it. But you can save it, and then you can go in there every day and you chew on it. You chew on this and you think about it. And you sit there, where do I think this should go? Think on it. It should be on your mind when you wake up. Make up on your mind when you walk, and wake up on your mind when you're going out. It should be on your mind all the time, and keeping your mind on this word. This is what's going to help you out. So I'm gonna tell you right now. Just continue to do, what we're asking. Put in the homework, and I guarantee you, at the end of the day, I promise you, you'll know more than you ever thought you would, and I guarantee you, we'll know bishop, we'll know person in any kind of Christian church be able to deal with you on any type of level. So with that, I bid each and every one of you a good shalom, and then I will see many of you guys in the morning for we do a live teaching in the mornings. So I'll be looking forward to doing that. We'll be together at 8 o'clock, my time, Pacific time, and you'll be able to go through that teaching with us. So hopefully that you'll be able to join us. Other than that, I bid each and every person a shalom.